Christian will pay off my dude. I didn't tell you guys about the slash tires. I'm gonna go on a bit of an aside. I didn't even tell you about this, Astro.
I think I heard it, but go on.
So basically, I was driving Wednesday night. I think it was Wednesday. Yeah, it was Wednesday night. And then my tires just like get absolutely obliterated, like while I'm driving.
Yeah.
So I pull into this fire station because it happened to be right there. Like I slowed down quickly and pulled into the fire station. Because sometimes if you get a flat tire, you know, you can still fill it up, or it might not be that damaged and you can still get it, you know, patched or something like that. But like my tires, the sidewalls of them were just like completely, you know, just obliterated, absolutely like destroyed. So now I have two flat tires, my two passenger side tires. So I'm like, okay, well, I can't just put the spare on and you know, drive home or something like that and deal with it tomorrow. I have to do something tonight. And I'm in the fire station parking lot. So like I'm where they send out the trucks.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, I can't stay here that long. So I have to figure something else out. And obviously I can't really drive that far. So I go and I look around and I see this African Methodist Episcopal Church, like it's a black church. Like I see one, and it's like 50 feet away. I'm like, okay, I could probably drive my car there. So I start going and I look and I make sure there's no car for like a mile, and then I drive like 5 miles an hour over to the African Methodist Episcopal blah 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 whatever church. Yeah, I'll just call it the African church. Drive to the African church. And then I pull into the parking lot. I realize that it's like this steep grass hill. Like this steep grass hill in a completely grass parking lot. Like they've never paved the parking lot. Right? There's no spot whatsoever. They just like literally park in the back. I'm like, what the frick is this? So I get slightly off of the road and I put it in park. I'm like, okay, I gotta brainstorm because I could call like a tow truck, you know. I just got to brainstorm and think about what I want to do here. So I'm sitting there thinking about it, and finally I decide, well, this church looks really small. It doesn't look like their pastor is full-time or anything, so I don't think they'll notice. So what I decided to do is I decided to like park it at the church and just leave it there overnight. So I try to like drive up this like steep hill. And I like take the parking brake off, put it in drive, and I start giving it gas. And the tires start spinning, and I'm like, okay, I'm about to be screwed. And I just punch it. I just punch it, like, you know, gas pedal to the floor, like I didn't care. Wiggle my wheel around. And I finally got out of like the divot and got up the hill. And then I had my father-in-law come and pick me up. So I'm like, I'm not getting an Uber or anything. This is terrible. It's already going to cost me enough to get these stupid tires replaced. So he picks me up and I go home, and what I decided to do is just call a tow truck in the morning and have them meet me at the church and then pick that up. But I had the best experience Ubering there. So I got an Uber, and you know, the guy picks me up and we start chatting, and I promise I'm only going to be talking about this story for like the next 30 minutes, guys. Please don't leave. But I start chatting to this guy, and this guy's like utterly insane. He's completely like off his rocker. I start talking to him. He's asking me like what I do, blah, 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 like what I'm studying, you know. And he's like, I have a master's degree. And I'm like, oh, you know, sometimes when I chat with people with like higher education, I will just have them yap about whatever they, you know, are studying, and I'll ask them questions and stuff like that. People like talking about stuff like that, so I just let them yap. But I was like, okay, what's your master's degree in? I was like, I hoping it's something that I have like a general awareness of, so I can ask the right questions and get them to talk about themselves the whole time, so I don't have to really say anything. But he says, I have a master's degree in leadership. I have a master's degree in leadership. I was like, okay. I don't know what the frick I'm supposed to say now. Like, did you go to like business school or something and you like specialize in some sort of like corporate leadership thing? Like, I don't know what that seems like really bad for marketing to like offer a master's in leadership. So I started asking him about it, and he's like, yeah, I wrote a thesis. And I'm like, you wrote a thesis in leadership? This is crazy. And he's like, yeah, I have I have a groundbreaking theory of leadership. The last 50 years of leadership studies have been completely wrong. Like, wow, this guy's my lip driver. That's crazy. He starts going into it, and he's like, yes, and this is exact words, since you study theology, you would be interested in this. So I'm like, okay, is he gonna start like trying to like exegete scripture in defense of his leadership view? No. He said it's based on the second law of thermodynamics, and that just like threw me completely off. I'm like, what does the second law of thermodynamics, one, have to do with theology, and two, have to do with freaking leadership? And he's like, yes, I expand my theory of leadership to explain all of reality.
So
I'm just in the backseat of this guy's car, just letting him go off. Bro was cooking the whole time. And I get to this church, and he turns around to me, and he's like, you should check out my website and my LinkedIn page where I write more about leadership. And I'm like, this guy literally just Ubers people around just so he can, throw a pitch at them to follow his website. This is crazy. And I came to think afterwards, because he mentioned that he works in retail. So I'm like, okay, retail, when people say retail and they work in retail, they basically mean like Walmart, Lowe's, Kohl's, store, like basically a store. That's what they mean by retail. For our Iranian friend here. So he said he works in retail. So it led me to start thinking. When I was in high school and a little bit in college, I worked at Walmart. That's why Walmart done this, actually. And I actually really liked it. It's very enjoyable. So I remembered, okay, so there was like 3 levels of manager. There's basically like the department managers who were like over like specific departments. There was like the associate and like assistant managers who were kind of like over the whole store, and they worked with the highest level, which was the store manager. There's like these 3 levels, and I remember the store manager and the like associate, assistant managers, whatever, I can't remember what they're called. They basically worked all the time. Like they had no time, but they made a lot of money. So they worked all the time. They had no time. So this guy's obviously not on that level, or he wouldn't be able to have time to be like Ubering people around. So this guy's probably like a department manager. he's probably like over the like deli section of Walmart or something, and this guy's like groundbreaking, world-class expert in leadership. Crazy. Okay, why do we have 2 of you now, Astro?
I have no idea. My browser crashed. I don't know